How you doing? This is Sam, and this is a step-by-step guide on how to find and hire a general contractor. All right, first thing you need to ask yourself is what type of project do I have? Is it a small project? Do I need to hang some cabinets, or do I need to lay some flooring? A small project like that will be, for a handyman or a tile specialist or something like that. Um, the if your project's a little bit bigger and you need to move some structural walls or change some location of different items, for a project like that, you're probably going to need a general contractor. Um, the third project that you may have is if it's a significant project that a gut renovation. You need some different design ideas. You need uh, things moved in different areas. A project like that is going to probably require a designer, an architect, and definitely a general contractor. All right, now that you determine what kind of project that you're getting done, now it's time to do your research. Want to start first is you're going to want to ask your friends and family, do they have any recommendations for any general contractors that they know and trust. Another really important thing is you want to ask your friends and family if they've used that general contractor. Sometimes they might recommend somebody that they know of that they didn't necessarily use, but they know that they did good work. I wouldn't necessarily be deterred if they haven't used that general contractor. I think typically if they have some sort of relationship with that general contractor and they know what kind of work that they do, that's a good enough bar that's met to recommend that general contractor. Now, if your friends and family don't have a general contractor that they recommend, now it's time to get online and do your research. Things that you're looking for online when you're looking for a general contractor. You're looking at his website. Does he have update project photos, or is his website completely outdated? Does he have any current reviews? Can you find him online? This is a telltale sign that I would personally use myself, and this is kind of what's allowed bad contractors to take advantage of homeowners. Um, Bad contractors love to be anonymous. So if you can't find them online, you can't find any information on their business, you probably shouldn't be interviewing them to come take a look at your project. Does that contractor have any ratings? Does he have any reviews online? You want to make sure that you read those reviews and you see good positive things from that contractor. Also, another thing that you're going to want to look for, you're going to want to Google that contractor's name, and you want to put scam next to it, or you also want to put rip off next to it. So there's different systems that allow people to report if they've been scammed or ripped off by a certain type of contractor, and you want to check that before you invite somebody to come into your home. All right, step two. Now that you've done your research and you figured out what contractors you want to do business with, now it's time to call around and see which contractor is going to be the best for your project. There's no definite number on how many contractors that you should see or contact, but I would like to say call 10 contractors. Some of them are not going to fit your type of project, but you want to probably narrow it down to anywhere from 4 to 6 contractors that that could potentially come and look at your project. I know as a contractor, do I hate when there's that many contractors or bids to deal with? Yes, I do. But this video is not about me. It's about you, the consumer that's looking to hire a contractor. So you want to narrow it down to 4 to 6 contractors that you want to invite to bid on your project. This part is really important. You want to judge everything about this process, and that's going to actually save you time, and it's going to save you money. When you call that contractor, did he answer the phone professionally? Did he speak with you with respect? Was he interested in your project? Sometimes not all contractors are going to be interested in your project, and you want to know that right up front before you decide to dive in with this contractor that might be too busy to service your project. And other other important information you need to know is he licensed? What is his permanent address? This is very, very important step that people skip. Does he have insurance? What is he licensed in your county? That's something that's really important down here in South Florida. It might be very different in different parts of the country where you have a blanket license that covers a large area. Down here in South Florida, you need to be registered with every city that you're doing business with. You need to be registered with every county that you're doing business with. You need to be registered with the state. They make it very difficult for licensed contractors to do business in places that they have no business doing business in. When will that contractor be able to start your project? Is that contractor going to provide you with a very detailed estimate? That part, the very detailed estimate, is very, very, very important. It's a big catch-22 where a lot of homeowners get caught up in the details of the scope of work that the contractor provides. I try to be very detailed in what I'm providing for the customer. It's when we walk through and we get an estimate, those are the items that I put down on my estimate. Those are the items that I'm providing. A big thing that happens is if things are missed and if things are not in the contract in the time it's executed, those are when change orders happen. And that happens a lot from the time that you thought up the project and the contractor walked into the home and he gave you a bid, and then you thought of something else, and then at the table you go, I want to throw this in. Well, it's a very difficult proposition to throw things in because most contractors have to pay extra for that. So throwing things in takes money out of the contractor's pocket. All right, we're at step number 3 now. I wanted to keep this video short, but this is such an important topic. I know that a lot of homeowners value this sort of information because this is where homeowners get tripped up. Now we're at the point where we're going to meet with the general contractor. So you've selected the ones that you want for your project, and now it's time to meet with that particular contractor. Here are some of the questions that you want to ask the contractor. How long have they been in business? What is their permanent address? Who's going to be project managing the project? What type of communication should I expect during the project? How often should I expect to have a meeting? How is information passed from the contractor to you? Those are all important questions that you need to ask before you decide to sign over a check to any general contractor. Will my project require a permit? So for us in South Florida, practically every project requires a permit. If you want to move a vanity cabinet they require a permit down here in South Florida to do that. They consider that structural. In different cities and different counties, I know they don't really care for stuff like that, but in South Florida, they really do. If you want to replace your garage door, that requires a permit. If you want to replace your front door, that requires a permit. So they're very permit happy down here in South Florida. For permits, for me, I always pull a permit because in the end, it's going to affect the speed of the project. If you don't pull that permit and waste that time up front with the city, if they potentially could put a red tag on you and they're looking for that, they're looking for those trucks in front of your house, they're looking for increased activity. They're looking for, if you just bought a property, I know the city of Coral Springs is one of the cities that does it, in city of Hollywood down here in South Florida, that if you purchase a property, they automatically triggers the city to pass by your property and check to see if you're doing work. So these are the permit aspect is very important. You want to get it addressed up front. Like one inspector told me, it's for the preservation of property and the preservation of life. So these codes that sometimes are annoying and expensive and you can't see are there to protect you as the homeowner. Lastly, what is the payment schedule for that contractor? How is that broken down? Do they have benchmarks in their contract? I know it's very smart of you as the homeowner to get some sort of benchmarks put into your contract. If the contractor is worth their salt, they would be willing to put benchmarks. They're confident in their ability to execute on that project in a timely manner. So what are benchmarks? Benchmarks are something that you might want to put into your contract and during the payment schedule. For instance, a benchmark that's a very typical benchmark that you might want to add to your contract is if the contractor says it's going to take you 120 days to execute on this project, you might want to put let's say $50 a day or $100 a day for every day past the 120 days of the contract. You can put that in your contract, but what you need to know is, did the contractor create the delays by his execution, or did the city create the delays by requesting a revision? Some of the things that happen on a bigger project, if the city requires a revision on your project and they take 3 weeks to issue that revision on that permit, your project is going to be delayed by those 3 weeks, and that's something that the homeowner needs to know. And those things are completely out of the contractor's hands, and so his hands are tied. So he can't be held responsible for the city, requesting those delays. These are things that actually happen all the time on major projects. In the description, I've added a worksheet that has all of this information on there. Just click on the link below and you'll get that worksheet, so you have all that information in front of you so you can interview that contractor and get all of that important information in one place. Also, if you haven't already, click to subscribe. If you found some value in this video, click to subscribe, hit that like button for us, and we'll continue to drop great content like this.